The weirdest things I've ever done to get good at skateboarding. Now, I haven't did a talking video like this in a minute. I think it's, beyond due for me to do a talking video like this. And this is one of the subjects that just popped in my head when I was thinking about what should I talk about. I know it's not the usual what it was really like, but this topic is low-key kind of crazy. Or maybe I just might think it's crazy. But a lot of people do a lot of things to get to a top tier level of skating. And I feel like I've got to a top tier level of skating when I was really going hard and trying to, go pro and film for these street parts and stuff like that. But to get that good, I was doing the most extra out practices to get to that level because I thought that would work for me on some like dramatic Karate Kid type shit. And the reason for that is I grew up in LA, as you guys know, and skating out there, you're around all the best skaters, sponsored skaters, things like that. So I'm hearing this person did this person did that, or I'm just clearly looking like, all right, what can I do while that nigga ain't skating, while he's sleeping, while he's eating? What can I do to get better without even just skating and stuff like that? What are some side things I could do? And in this video, I'm talking about that. But the typical stuff would happen, like, skating every day. I would skate from like right when I would wake up to when it would get dark. I would even ditch school, bro. I've said this before, but I've ditched over 100 days one year, which is a lot. I don't even know how many days is in like a school year, but I ditched over 100 days, and they even sent a letter to my grandma saying they was gonna take her to jail. Shit like that, like threatening her if I don't start going to school. But I would ditch school, not to do bad things, but just to go to skate parks and skate all day. So I'll do that, then come home, eat, boom, and skate some more. And that's, that seems kind of typical compared to the actual other things I was kind of doing that I consider weird. But before I get to the weird stuff, I'm gonna tell you more about certain things I would do. One of the biggest things I would do is get a piece of paper and I'll write down boxes, and I'll be a trick over the boxes. Like there'll be a trick, then there'll be like 10 boxes, and then each box will have the number 10 on it. So I would have to do that trick 10 times on flat ground or whatever I'm doing to check that box off. And I'll have a big list, and I'll just be all day, all night, just training myself and doing things like that. This still isn't one of the weird things yet, but I will also do practices to get better at my pushing. Even though I could push fast and solid, but like style really matters, and I was trying to get my style down, and pushing is a big part of that. And Nigel was telling me, AKA, he actually told me to work on that. So what I would do is for miles around my city, I could name the streets too. I would go from Century and Crenshaw all the way down to Imperial and Crenshaw, then turn a right and go all the way to Prairie and Imperial, then turn another right and go all the way back from Prairie, go all the way down Prairie to Century, and then go from Prairie and Century to Crenshaw and Century, which is a lot of pushing. And I would do that regular and just focus on like pushing all extra dramatic and cool, just while I'm not all wobbly and stuff like that. And then I would do a switch, and I would do that multiple times a day. As I got older, when I was like 18 and stuff like that, I started working out too. And I was, trying, I don't know, I'm a nigga from the wood. I didn't know what the fuck, how to work out and shit. Nobody taught me that. So I would just listen to the homies and stuff on videos and shit like that. So I forgot what it was called, but we joined some class too. And I was already skinny at the time, but I was really on some diet shit, and I lost like 7 pounds quick as fuck, and they were even freaking out. So I got super skinny, and I'm telling you, bro, that was the best skating of my life. I need to do that shit again. Like, I was doing kickflip back tail 270 out first try. I don't even fucking do that trick. But so that was, I would go out my way and do stuff like that. But now let's get into the weird dumbass shit I was doing to get good at skating. Element was always my favorite company because I like their positivity and stuff like that. That being said, I was always on that type of thinking. Like, I wanted to, I was a positive person. I was all about doing good, and good would come back to you, and just doing good, period. And then visualizing and meditating and just trying to be calm and things like that, and attract positive things to your life. So one of the biggest most random things I would do to practice. You guys, there's a fucking fly around me. You guys, I'm about to catch fade with this shit. Fuck this positive shit. You guys, Jarrell, because he would do it with me. Just it's like thinking about it now, it's kind of crazy. We would hop into like the local school, the high school next to us, which was Morningside High School. And I'd be like, look, let's practice I don't even know what the fuck. Let's practice giving. Let's practice that good energy by watering the plants in the school. So we'll go around, we'll just focus on our breathing, and then we'll water the plants at the school. And I don't know, bro. I feel like at the time that was like a practice to help appreciate the presence. And that's what we were practicing, doing stuff like that. And a lot of people don't do things like that. That's a good way to meditate. It's a form of meditation and stuff like that. But we'll go around, we'll appreciate the school that we will skate in, and we'll water the plants and just feel good and make sure the energy there was just great for us. Which, if I tell somebody that right now, they'll probably be like, what the fuck is you talking about, Unc? So imagine, this is another one. Imagine, we probably look like hella anime nerds doing this. I wasn't into anime or nothing, Jarrell was. But I was on some, man, I gotta practice my motherfucking balance if I wanna be good at, I ain't fly, god damn, you want that fade again? I wanted to practice my balance and shit. So I can get good at rails and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, to practice your balance, you gotta be able to balance on the motherfucking rail. So for like an hour or two sometimes, I'd be like, look, y'all, let's just walk on rails at these schools. And it's like little hallway rails. So it's not like really big, steep rails, it's just hallway rails or whatever, like outside door hallways. And we'll just balance on that bitch, like doing shit like this all day. Well, not all day, but for like an hour at least. And just do that, and then we'll get on like the top part of a building and try to do some dumb shit like that. If we would have failed, it would have been bad. But we used to do a lot of balance like that. So imagine walking into the school and you're like, these skaters are trespassing. All you see is us trying to be on some circus shit and stuff like that. So we would do things like that. One time, I think I spoke about this when we were like kids, probably like 15, 16, something like that. I was like, y'all, this is kind of sus though, pause. But I'm like, y'all, what I'm gonna do is start skating in my underwear in public. So I can't even finish this sentence right now. I'm gonna skate in my underwear in public. And the practice for that was because we have anxiety when we skate in front of people usually, especially in competitions and stuff like that. We get nervous. So I'm like, all right, instead of doing that whole saying, just picture everybody else in their underwear, pause. I was like, I'm gonna skate in my underwear and look stupid on purpose and try to just get used to that. So when I have my clothes on at competitions, I'm not nervous. And to be honest, I only did that once and never did that again. This one's kind of weird, but it's not too weird. But I've also talked about this before in a manual trick tip. I used to be in my house all day trying to be like Day One Song and just put my board on the carpet and just balance in place all day, just balance in place. And that's why I'm so good at switch nose mails and stuff like that. I wouldn't do it regular nose mail though, so that's kind of a fucked up situation in my book. But I would do that all day, and I just built whatever micro freaking muscles I have for that. Just built it stronger, and just now I have switch nose mails on fucking lock. This is something that we kind of all still do, which is the most toxic thing. We shouldn't Taco Bell. We shouldn't be doing this. Is when I skate, I don't do this no more really, but like I used to do this bad when I was younger. When I skate and I'm trying to get a trick, I used to be like, you're not drinking no fucking water, no beverage at all until you land this trick. Nigga, I would be dying because I'm not landing the trick, and I would be suffering, needing some water, about to faint, pass out, and still not drink that water just because I'm like, I gotta get it. And in all reality, if I drank that water, it probably would help. Also, this is not that big of a deal, but I think this is actually a good one. I would practice falling a lot. Now that sounds crazy. Why would you practice falling? Because the majority of skateboarding is you falling, if you would think about it. So you just see me running and jumping off stairs and just, fall like that, but just trying to get better at rolling and tucking and things like that. But it's weird because just imagine you just at the skate park and you just see a nigga just like no skateboard, nothing, just running and jumping off stairs and just rolling and getting back up like it's a trick and then doing it again. Like, that must be looking goofy. I was a kid at the time, but imagine me doing that shit now. There's a lot more weird things I've done that I probably can't remember, but this ain't too weird unless you're closed-minded, and I need to start doing this a lot more. But I would, all night before going to bed, visualize. I'll sit there, meditate, and start visualizing me doing tricks and just landing and just hearing people give me props and just hearing the board roll away and little things like that, and just constantly just think that over and over to get myself into that state of mind of like, it's just what it is, if that makes sense. And that helped a lot too, versus now that I think about it, I might just have a wake-up call where I'm just like, oh shit, I ain't as good as I used to be. Oh, that'd be crazy if I could do a rock and roll to fakie. What the fuck, nigga? No, I'm a boss. So that's how I was thinking, and I need to start thinking like that again. So I'm gonna probably start doing all this shit I talked about in this video again. But that being said, one-on-one, I appreciate you guys. Haven't did a talking video in a minute. I busted my ass skating the other day. I needed to take a break. And this is another break day. Plus, it's hot as a bitch out here. It's 100 and something degrees. I'm craving to get back on the skateboard. I'm not hurt or nothing. I'm just like sore. Craving to get back on the skateboard. Probably tomorrow or the next day. But I'll do another talking video tomorrow if I don't post a skate video tomorrow. And I have to hang out with my son and do some like dad shit. You feel me? And have some fun and stuff like that. I've been doing these videos a little too much. So bear with me. But I'm still more consistent than your favorite YouTuber. One-on-one. I'll see you guys in the next video.